my peoples? 𝐿𝐵𝐿 in the building, back with another video from Okay Beatz. In this tutorial, we are going to be making a beat. If you're new to this channel, please like and subscribe. If you know anybody interested in making beats and audio production, share this video with them. Questions or comments, leave them down in the comment section, and I will respond to them as soon as possible. Please check out our website, www.okbeatz.com. That's 𝐭𝐴YBEATZ.com. You can get your beats there, get your custom beats, mix and mastering services available. You can also book studio time here at Okay Beatz Studio in New York. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and get started. Going to FL Studio. And I'm going to go ahead and choose some sounds that I like. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and look for an 808. That one sounds pretty good. Shout out to 𝐵𝐿𝐼matics. 𝐵𝐿𝐼matics got some dope sounds. I'm going to go ahead and go into the drums real quick. Just get the one shot collection. And just get a quick snare. Like that. So let's go ahead and make a basic pattern over here. I'm going to bring this tempo down to about 102 BPM. And let's check that out with the metronome. So I like that for basic 808 drop right there. And now we're gonna go ahead and choose a snare pattern real quick. It's usually very simple, you know, the 3 and the 7. In this case, it's just gonna be the 3 because this is a short pattern. Actually, this is gonna be the 2 and the 4. Alright, so I like that. I'm gonna go to the hi-hats. Pick something nice there. Just fill in each 2 steps. Go ahead and work on this hi-hat pattern a little bit. Go up here and do 4 steps. That's a dope pattern right there. I'm gonna add some percussion. I like that. Now I'm gonna go ahead and into that percussion. I open up the pattern window for it here. Go into the pre-computed effects. Actually, I'm gonna hit this little wrench right here, this little wrench tool, and then go in here into the little effects where it says echo delay fat mode, and bring up the feed just ever so slightly, about 15%. And bring this timing up to about 4. Let's see what that sounds like. Cut self. Bring up that volume some. Bring it up, bring it down over here. Bring it up in the preamp. Sounds good. So now I'm gonna go ahead and replace this stock FL Studio plugin with something else. Let's see what I'm gonna go with. Let's go with the DX7 by Arturia. That's one of my go-to synths right there. Let's see what this sounds like. I'm gonna make a basic pattern with that, not necessarily so melodic, but just to serve as some texture. So let's see what this sounds like. Alright. Go on in here and delete these. We only got a short pattern, I almost forgot. Sounding good. Let's add another instrument, maybe some keys for some smoothness. Let me see. What keys do I want? I'm gonna go ahead and get that �R=𝐵PHISSODY piano. Let's see what this gonna sound like right here. So we know this is in the key of E. So maybe we want to go ahead and get in the D scale or in the E scale. All right, let's see what this is like. Nah, I ain't gonna like that. Hold up. I think I'm gonna stick with that. Let's see. Just for the sake of time, this tutorial, just wanted to do a quick one. smoothness in there. I'll turn that volume down some. And now we go into this channel rack, highlight all of the instruments, Command L to get them all in the mixer. Now that they're all in the mixer, they're going to be easy for us to level out. But before we get into that, let's right click on this little pattern box right here and say split by channel, and then highlight all of them and drag them into track 5. Anything beyond track 5 is going to get used. So then what I'm going to do here now is hit Command B multiple times. Let me see, and then check the time out, because I know I want it to be about 2 minutes long. So bring it all the way out here. It's 1 minute and 15. 1 minute and 53. 2 minutes and 12. But that works. Now I'm gonna go ahead and delete the very beginning of this track except for the melody. That's gonna build a intro for us. So that's a good one right there. Now what we're gonna want is like a little symbol. Create a little symbol, put that there, and I'm gonna put it behind it too, because I'm going to double click on it and hit reverse, because I wanna reverse that and make a riser out of it. I'm gonna go ahead and make this one unique and do the same thing so I can keep it regular. So I want that hit to come in once that bar begins. And I want this riser to begin before the bar begins, because that's going to create an intro for us. So let's go ahead and put that in the track and lower it, because these tend to be loud. Let's hear it. So now I'm gonna come in here and just do variations per section. So the way that I do sections is I just did the little intro right here for you. That's a section. The next section is going to consist of, the hook. The next section is going to consist of the verse, which is usually 2 times as long as the chorus or the hook. So here we have 1 and 2 measurements of the hook. So that means we might need 4 measurements. This is not a rule, but this is just, the way that I make my arrangements. So, you can take notes if you want. If not, that's fine. So I'm just making variations all the way across the verse, before the hook comes back in. And when the hook comes back in, I'm going to drop out all of the instruments for about 2 small measurements there. And then the hook comes back in, and then so on and so forth. We continue. The hook is 2 sections. Let's start this verse right here with just hi-hats and the melody. So then the hi-hats leave as soon as the 808s come in, and then the snare is going to be gone for the next 2 bars after that. And then for the very last bar, we're going to go ahead and lose the 808 again. And then what we're going to do is we're going to erase that whole section and just copy and paste this one. Just showing you guys a different way of doing things. And then here we have the hook again. So then after the hook, which lasts 2 measurements as well, 2 big measurements, we're going to ride out this melody. And that's gonna fade it out, and then we have ourselves a full beat, guys. So I'm gonna go into this mixer track real quick, or this mixer, and go into the master track and right click on the fader for that and say create automation clip. That brings us to this bad boy right here. Extend that all the way. Right click on this dot, copy, and paste it towards the end there. And this is where I want the fade to begin. So we're gonna listen to the beat, and as we listen to the beat, I'm gonna go ahead and level it as well. Let me find another sound effect that's going to come in on our second verse. Let's see what experimental has. I could dig that. All right, let's see. Let's hear that. All right, so I'll put that in a track in the mixer to turn it down some. All right, and then I'm gonna go and find my watermark real quick. Put that in the front somewhere, put it in the middle somewhere, and then towards the end somewhere. Double click on that, put it in a track, and now we're going to start the track from the very beginning. Highlight the whole track by pressing Command A. That highlights the entire project. And now we're gonna go into the leveling. Leveling and mixing, guys. This is leveling and mixing.
Okay Beatz.
I like to make sure nothing is going past 0 dB so I don't get any clipping. Once I know everything is under 0 dB, that's when I go into my preferential leveling preferences, which consists of making sure that bass, that 808, and that kick, that they really slap without muddying up the mix. I'll explain that in a second, but the melody needs to stick out, so I usually leave that a little bit higher. So we also want to choose one of these melody elements to be in stereo the hi-hat gets annoying after a while, after you listen to it, you know, for a long time. So you want to turn that a little bit down so it doesn't get annoying after listening to it for a while. The snare and the kick are usually around the same level. You want them to stand out equally in the mix. So that's that. So we're gonna go into the 808 and the kick. I'm gonna go ahead and do a little bit of side chain. Well, actually, we never chose a kick for this one, so we don't have to worry about that. But I just want to make sure that the 808 itself is not overpowering the rest of the elements. So let's hear that.
Okay Beatz.
I'm gonna put some reverb on this melody real quick. I'll just put it directly on there. We don't even have to make a bus for it, because usually on the sounds you could slap the delay and the reverb right on there. So I'm gonna go with, we could go with the stock reverb, honestly. Stock reverb is pretty good. We're gonna open up that size. Bring that wet knob up and bring this wet knob down. Let's just see how it sounds.
Okay Beatz.
Alright, so I brought up this low cut. We don't need any lows on the reverb. Brought down this bass. Brought up this dampener, so it's not so crazy. I brought the decay up a little bit so we could hear it a little bit more pronounced on the stereo field and everything. And I opened up this size all the way too, so we could get better stereo field on that. Then I brought this wet and dry knob down to about 40%. We're gonna go ahead and send this same exact plugin and setting. We're gonna send that to the DX7 synthesizer as well. And then we're gonna turn down this wet and dry knob to about 25%. We want to hear it a little bit less than the main melody. So there's the main melody, then there's the counter melody. So let's listen into it all together and see what that sounds like.
Okay Beatz.
Alright, so I feel like the DX7 is being washed out a little bit, so I'm gonna go ahead and put some compression on that. That's the CLA2A stereo by Waves. It's one of my favorite compressors. I put it on almost everything. So let's hear what that sounds like.
Okay Beatz.
Much better. I want to put a compressor on the hi-hats as well. I'm gonna use the CLA76 stereo. I like to use this for my hi-hats and bring that release up as fast as, not all the way as fast as you can, but we're gonna listen to it and just kind of measure it like that. See how it's sharp? You notice how the hi-hats sound sharp and pronounced, but they're not like sounding bad or harsh or anything like that. That's the compression. You want to choose the right compressor for the right elements. So for this element in particular, since we know it's percussive, you know, that sound happens fast. So we want to put a fast compression on it, and we want to make sure that the compression happens just as fast as possible without sounding bad. All right, because we only want to bring down that initial, but we want the rest of the to be heard, all right, and be pronounced. So that's why we put these tools on there. Bring the mix knob just back a little bit, just a tad. Let's hear that. Put that ratio at 8:1 instead of 4:1. So it gave it just that little touch, a little extra touch of compression that I needed. On the lows or the bass, this is not always necessary depending on the sounds that you have and the sources that you get those sounds from. Sometimes you don't need to do much to the sounds, you know what I'm saying? Usually when you have to do things to the sound is because you're using sounds from different kits. Therefore, you have to make them work well together. So that's when you really got to go into the mixing process for each of the elements. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, if you get, usually, this is usually, guys, not always. If you get your sounds from the same kit, usually the whole point of the kit is so that all of the sounds that are in the kit work well together. So when you use any of the sounds in the kit in combination, there should be minimal mixing taking place. All right, my peoples. So with that said, what I usually put on my 808s, not always, but usually, is the CLA 3A mono compressor from Waves. And I don't know, this just has a low end energy to it that's very analog and just makes it stand out a little bit more. So let's hear that and modify it as we hear it. So you can already hear that muddiness that this compressor is bringing out in that 808. You know what I'm saying? It's bringing out a certain muddiness. Let's hear it. Don't be afraid of compression, my peoples. You know, just get at it. That's about it, my peoples. I really appreciate y'all for watching. And until next time, we will be back with another tutorial. Until then, go get y'all's custom beats, mixing and mastering services from OKBeatz.com. Check out my music on all streaming platforms at 𝐿𝐵 Supreme. On all streaming platforms, my people. Thank you once again. Peace.